record. It's resetting and record. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Stewart Buzz. My name is Chris. Introduce yourself.
My name is David Sanchez.
David Sanchez. Nice Italian name. Um, by the way, you've been coming to our store for quite some time, and you have an interesting ability, in my opinion. Very cool knowledge on sound healing. I want to kind of pick your brain on that a little bit because you always have the like newest gadgets and everything seems to be really cool. So why don't you inform me on how you got started with this whole sound healing thing?
Actually, when I was 16, I had the urge to use tuning forks, but it seemed to go away. And as I
The
became
urge
more,
went away or the tuning forks?
the urge went away.
Okay.
I put it in my back pocket, let's say.
Okay, I can understand that.
And as I got older and we were celebrating, my wife just got a second gig teaching yoga.
Mm.
We went to
Where did this urge take you?
well, I started out with my tuning forks. We learned the tuning forks, both my wife and myself. And then we moved on to sound bowls and then to different instruments.
No rain sticks, huh?
Yes, rain sticks, didgeridoos. Um,
Did you reduce? Were you able to play
no.
that? They're not that easy.
No, they're not that easy. I could produce small amounts of sound out of them, but not like some of these people who are very talented and
I
have the
can produce
capability.
small amounts of sounds out of myself too, but it probably wouldn't work in sound healing. But from what I hear, like to me, you're the way I look at you is like you're the master of the sound healing. Um, and Kaylee, as you probably know, has a full set of those bowls now.
Yes, I know.
Not only that, but you know that amazing thing that you gave her?
Yes.
She has this awesome stand that she got. Did you see the stand or do you know what it's about? Or?
I haven't seen her stand yet, but
It is extremely cool.
yeah.
And I'm assuming the way it's set up, it was made for that, which is like she was like all about it. Like I don't care if anybody shows up, I'm doing this. And she had them all in front of her and all excited. Now, that's not typically something that I could buy from my store because the resale value of the thing is insane. But they're like polished beyond polished. The most beautiful things I've seen. And you have a set of those, don't you?
Yes. I have a little bit larger set than she has. And
Size doesn't always matter, by the way. But so How does sound healing work, and does it have to do with the water in your body? Uh, because we are in what, 90% water around
70,
there?
70%.
70%?
Yeah.
If you take one of these bowls and you put it near a glass of water, it should actually make the water kind of ripple. So just think about that of us being a glass of 70% water, and then you putting the sound bowls near us or in an acoustic place like this with very high ceilings and everything. I would assume that it would be amazing. I really do want to do a podcast while she's doing the sound healing, but I would have to get you know permission from everybody for them to be filmed. So I'm not sure they want to do that. But um, what do you think the benefits are, and how far do the benefits go?
I think all the benefits could be unlimited. It depends on each individual, on their perspective, and how much they're open to it.
How often do you do this?
Lately, twice, 3 times a week.
Hmm. And you do this in the yoga studio?
Some yoga studios, I've been doing a lot of private sessions.
Now, how do you do the private sessions? Do they come to your house? Do you go to theirs? How does that work?
Well, I've done several at my house, but a lot of times I'll go to their house and we set up the place and we usually talk before, talk about intent, breathing. 'Cause-
Great.
So,
I just want to throw in breath work is actually very important, even if you're not doing sound healing. So breath work, period. I mean, me being a martial artist, breath work was a very important thing in the martial arts. It's a very important thing in just meditation, uh, and also with sound healing. I have seen people actually fall asleep in sound healing, wake up totally energized. Sometimes, though, I don't know if you've ever come across this, but sometimes people feel a little bit sick afterwards for some reason. I don't know why. I've heard that.
sometimes I've really never run into anything like that, but it depends on the energy they bring in too.
Correct.
Because with the vibration, what we're doing is we're stirring up all the energy centers. And by stirring up the energy centers, sometimes if they don't release everything, then it could cause discomfort.
So you clearly believe in chakras.
Energy points, yes.
See how he corrected me there? Um, but listen, you're the master about this. You want to talk about psychic mediumship? I'll go one on one on you, but I can't do that with the sound dealing part of it. You're the dude to talk to about this. So if you were to do a one on one, you find out what's ailing them. Are they suffering from anxieties? Do you do like an interview with them to see where they're at emotionally? And then make your decision on exactly what frequencies that you're going to put out?
Um,
These are pretty good questions I'm coming up with
yeah,
them.
pretty good. Sometimes it's intuition
Okay.
because the way it was you really don't.
Okay. Now, I have another question. Some people call it a sound bath. Some people call it sound healing. Is there a difference? Or is it just verbiage? It's just the way you want to call it.
There's a difference, but it's how each individual interprets it, or feels it, or sees it. I call myself not a sound healer. I call myself a sound and vibration practitioner, and I consider myself a conduit because the healing isn't each
So you find yourself an extension of the device that you're using.
I found myself a conduit
What
to
the coincidence, and of course nothing is a coincidence, but I read the same way. I am a conduit. I am being told something. I relay that message. You're being told something. You relay it in a different way. Um, I relay it with words. You relay it with sound. But believe it or not, it all intertwines. This whole metaphysical world intertwines, and people do not realize also Reiki intertwines with that as well. It is healing from a divine source for a conduit. You're a conduit, it comes down to you and you do the healing. Same thing with sound healing, same thing with I do. Now, don't you find that to be a coincidence? That it all seems to be coming from a divine source, right? A higher power. Um, so, for all of you skeptics, think about that. What is the common denominator here? It is the higher power. And honestly, I believe that we do not have control over the higher power. Um, it just leads us to go to where we need to go. Do you agree with that?
yes, I consider that energy or the higher power the fascia of the universe that
Okay.
holds everything together.
Now, you come into my store with all sorts of toys. Some of them electronic, some of them, I don't know. He just has like really cool stuff. And little pissed at him that Kaylee got that thing and I did not. I would have loved to have that. It's just a cool sounding device. Do you know the name of it? Does it have a name?
It's manufactured by a company called Treewood out of Tennessee, and it's a bar chime.
A bar chime. Bar as in mean give me a shot of alcohol.
No.
Okay. So it's on a bar. It's like sort of a wooden bar, I'm assuming.
Yes, but each chime is a solid bar of metal
Right.
that has a specific tune to it
Due to its length.
due to its length.
Okay. And when you run across it why is somebody talking? Oh, I just got a notification on my watch that somebody's talking in my store. The store's locked. There's nobody there. I, I can see on my watch there is nobody there. But think about this. It's almost like what do they call those? A xylophone,
Yes.
and it just reminds me of that. Could you play it like that? Like ding 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 ding, or do you just go across and then you go down and
Because the way the instrument is constructed, it's easier just to play it because then you got too many loose
right
bars of aluminum or what.
hitting each other?
Yeah.
Okay. What other cool instruments do you have? You have the what are they Tibetan singing bowls?
Tibetan singing bowls.
Um, those are hammered singing bowls, or are they not hammered?
They're
What is the difference between that and a crystal singing bowl? Because although you can make the hammered singing bowls sing by going around, I find it a little bit more difficult to do that than the crystal singing bowls. Um, so I'm going to ask you, I think I get more benefit out of it being tapped and then moved around the class, more so than going around on a Nepal one, a Tibetan one, versus the crystal one. The crystal one, I think, can go around and get more out of it. But do you do it both ways with the Tibetan?
You can. I choose to
Bang it,
ring the bowl
right?
and let it sing.
And mind you, these particular bowls that he's speaking of, like you hit it, and it just seems to be an infinity time that this thing continues to ring. Now, there's a story behind these bowls, if I'm correct,
My
right?
bowls, yes.
Um, and that some of the proceeds go to. Is this the same?
Yes, they go to the schools in Nepal where they teach women uh, ways to make money work. And they also have a children's program where they teach the children and they do meditations and they teach the children how to be
Okay,
better people.
so say you have 200 bowls. Now, how are these made out of? Like a cast, or how? They have to make the bowls somehow. They have a forge. Is that how it works?
They have a forge and they take a plank, certain size for certain bowl, and they actually have another piece of metal and they start hammering it. And there's usually two, three men hammering at the same time, sticking.
See, just pick a number. Out of 10 of them, how many pass inspection?
Not too many. According to Rob, who we both know,
Yeah.
um, what usually happens is a guy
I saw a video on that. I don't know if you saw that video that he shares, but I saw a video on that, and they don't seem to have a device. I think they test these things by ear. They've been doing it so long. They must test it by ear to whether or not this thing sounds right or it doesn't sound right. But I saw him, and he bangs it, and he's like this, and he throws it into one pile over there. And then the other one he lays on this pile over here. Now, the difference is when he throws it over this pile over here, I believe it gets melted down again. And we'll give it a second try to make it again. But the one that he lays over here is going to get inside a box and then be sold, or a holder of some sort. I think that's a pretty cool story, and I think it's a way of giving back to their community and educating their community. So when you buy a set of bowls from Rob, uh, you are contributing to that culture and to the teachings for women and children. So it's not just buying the bowls, it's a whole story behind it. And mind you, going to a sound healing, it is not just the sound healing, there's a whole story behind it. Now, somebody does sound healing at the LAU Museum. Have you been to that yet?
yes, I have.
And how does that compare to what you do?
Oh, Dina is a very good practitioner. She's very talented. She has a lot of crystal bowls, a lot of gongs, a lot of instruments, and usually her events.
Really?
Yeah, she's very cool.
And she does it every day?
No, not every day,
Okay.
but she has several monthly, maybe once a week.
Now, Kaylee, being all excited that she's got these bowls, she also, oh, by the way, we're getting rid of pennies. I don't know if you heard that, but
Yeah,
they're not going to be making penny. It costs 3 cents to make 1 penny. Hello? But anyway, getting back on topic. So Kaylee purchased these little lights, right? And she set the color of the chakras to the bowl and putting it in the light. This was like a kid in a candy shop. I swear to God, when she was setting all this up, she's like, "Oh my God!" And first she couldn't get them to turn on until I told her to actually turn them all the way. And at night they glow, they glow. So um, I think they're actually beautiful. Kaylee does have sound healing here every Thursday at 5 to 6. Have you ever sat in on any of hers?
yes, I have
Have you contributed? Like,
participated.
yes.
I give her the use of some of my instruments.
but
I've never been a co-practitioner with her.
I think she would be honored, in my opinion. That's my opinion. I believe that she would be honored if you did something like that. Um, it's not like you're trying to take over, because I think you're more than that to her, and you're more than that to us. You've been coming into the store for a while. You're a friend. You're not looking to take over. You're looking to share your knowledge and experience, which to me, you can't get a better mentor, you can't get a better person than somebody that is looking for absolutely nothing other than to share their knowledge and share what they have. And he comes in with, you got to see this, and this is what he does. You got to see this, and you got to see this. And we were talking about a crystal triangle at one point, and I had said to Kaylee, she got a crystal triangle, and we thought that we had him beat. Okay, like okay, we got something you don't have. Ha ha ha. Well, that didn't work. Um, he came out with his triangle, and he said something. I believe it was you that said it, or I said it, one or the other. But he said, "Be careful of the string." I said to Kaylee, you need to change that string. Well, lo and behold, about 2 weeks later, she came to me because she goes, Chris, you're right. My string broke. So I had to triple her string so it wouldn't break. But I don't think there's anything that you don't have that is used for sound healing. I mean, other than an Indian flute or something like that, um, which I used to love to play. I did sell it, but I wish I didn't. Um, I used to love to play that. So, how, I mean, this isn't what you did your whole life. And do you still have a job doing something else and then you do this on the side?
No, in 22, midway 22, I retired.
Because you're old.
Yes, I'm old. And I was, 3 years, I was a certified building contractor.
Oh, very cool. So you went from building contractor to sound healing. Now, when you were a building contractor, did you give it about sound healing? Now,
Um,
there's nothing wrong with saying that you didn't.
no, I just didn't dive into it until I met Christopher Timms.
Right, okay, yeah.
And once I met Christopher, then a whole new world broke open.
And lots of times that's the way it works. Different story with me, but I mean, the sound healing part of it's really cool. I don't think Kaylee ever really um, anticipated her doing sound healing until I said, hey, why don't you do sound healing here? And then I let her use our bowls in the store. Well, then her fiance, Jordan, very cool dude. I don't, have you ever met Jordan?
Not yet.
Cool dude. Uh, doesn't really want to give me a tattoo or anything, but he's a cool dude. So he got her a set of singing bowls, and then she always wanted. She has this little tiny instrument. I don't know if you saw it. It has little prongs on it.
A kalimba or a finger piano? Kalimba,
The first one said it.
kalimba.
Yeah, and she can play a Christmas song on it. I couldn't play anything on it. It doesn't work for me. I think it's in almost like a coconut shape type of thing. And she learned right away that she can play that. Now me, I love to play the tongue drum, and I'm good at playing the tongue drum, but everything else, no. Other than a djembe or something like that, I can play that, but um, I enjoy the sound healing, but I don't think that I'm anywhere close, like maybe this much talent compared to what you may have of this much talent. And Kaylee's doing really well with it. She actually, I think it calms her at the same time as she is calming others. So I find them when I walk by, the people just to be like laying down with their eyes closed, kind of sleeping and meditating, um, which I think I would do the same thing. Do you get a lot of people that fall asleep when you do your sound healing?
Every now and then you have someone sleeping, someone snoring, and we just sort of laugh.
We have had we have had a person that does Reiki. I think it's Reiki or sound healing, and I think she just kept on snoring, um, pretty loud too. Like can't hear some of the sound healing going on. But any last comments that you want to bring up on sound healing that I don't know about? Which is probably a billion things, but since you happened to pull up and I was going to do a podcast anyway, I said, "Oh my God, I always wanted to get you in here to do a podcast about the sound healing because I think it's kind of interesting." And when I publish this, I'm going to put a thumbnail on here of the chakras and and what the frequencies of the chakras are. So I'm looking forward to doing that as well. Do you have anything else you want to add?
What I would add is the most important thing is mindfulness for 10. And two is the breath work. And number three would be going into stillness into the self.
Question here. Before you start the actual sound bath, do you do a series of meditating type of talk um, to calm them or to ground them? Do you do that with your voice?
Yes, and it sounds just like Julio Iglesias, I
Yeah, I'm sure it does. Isn't he dead now, or is he still alive? Is he still alive?
don't know.
I don't know. We have to Google that.
So,
Um,
yes, some sound baths, I make it a guided meditation.
right, exactly. So I was trying to get up that word. Guided meditation gets that's what Kaylee does now. She does a little form of guided meditation in the beginning. As they start to drip down, then she'll sort of it's a segue into her sound healing that she does. So I am amazed at your expertise at it. And every time you come in, I'm expecting to see something new. And for some reason, he has to back into a spot. He can't like go forward for some reason. I have to figure that. We'll talk about that when we get to the store. All right. Well, you can see Kaylee's sound healing every Thursday at 5 o'clock till 6 o'clock every Thursday. And do you have any special days, or is there any way that somebody can get in touch with you?
Well, the best way is on Facebook. I have two. It says David Sanchez, and the other one is what we named our troop. Our troop is called A Thread Amidst the Tribes. So we are the thread.
Kevin the Beekeeper. Have you ever heard of Kevin the Beekeeper?
I don't.
He does a lot of drum circles around this area over here. He goes to a lot of different places. I, 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 I believe you guys should get together one time because he's a very cool dude. You're a very cool dude. I think both sound healing and drumming would go together really well if you really know how to drum. No, this is no joke. If you really know how to drum, you can drum to a sound healing and almost match pitches. Same thing with tongue drums, by the way. So when I did the tongue drum to the sound bowls, I can actually match the frequency of the sound bowls with my tongue drum, and it just sounds like an orchestra. It's so freaking cool because it just sounds like 50 things going on at once, but in a Simon Garfunkel type of way. So it's the only way I can say it. This, Simon and Garfunkel, two voices, but they become one. I mean,
Yeah,
we all, anyway,
they
our ages
harmonize.
know what we're talking about. The younger group may not know, but Google it, you'll find out. But we're going to go now. You guys have an amazing day. Say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Have a great day.